The worst mistake you can ever make after leaving a narcissist or any other toxic relationship is never blocking your ex-partner. Why? That is what I'm going to share with you because this is part 3 of my story with my ex-narcissist. Everything I'm talking about here is based on real events and based on my personal experience. I share this whole information because I know how incredibly and unbelievably hard it is to leave this kind of relationship and how to recover afterwards. Now I'm studying life coaching because in the future I would love to help people rebuild their lives and get over these toxic relationships. If you or someone you know needs support or help, I will leave all the links down in the description. In part 2, I told you that the very first step to get out of this relationship and breaking free is realizing where you are in this relationship and who you're really with. Today, I'll share the next steps and explain why so many people get stuck, why so many survivors get stuck here. Step 2, you cannot avoid the pain after leaving. At first, you may feel free and euphoric because life suddenly becomes brighter and colorful again. But don't rush. Before life truly becomes brighter and you are truly free, you will have to go through all the pain. 3 days might pass. And if you block this person, and I always say that blocking this person is the only, and permanently blocking this person is the only real step to break free and to get over this relationship. So after 3 days, after blocking this person, no one is gonna rush back to you. And that's when pride kicks in. By the 7th day, you will fall deep into suffering. Around day 21, you're ready to go back. Why? Because just like with the drug addiction, withdrawal is inevitable. You cannot avoid it. You can only minimize it. If you recognize yourself in this, please don't ignore it. If you are over this kind of relationship, please comment down below what exactly helped you. Your story and your comment might help someone else. And now let's talk about the mistake if you don't block this kind of person. Some people believe if you block a narcissist or a psychopath, they will think you are weak. But let me be clear here. Blocking is not a weakness. Blocking is self-protection. Ignoring doesn't work because ignoring is like sitting in the front of a glass of wine while trying to stay sober. Maybe you don't drink it right away, but the glass is still there in front of you. It's still a trigger. And when you're dealing with this kind of toxic people with trauma bonds, with triggers, they always lead to relapse. That's why people who just think, I will ignore him, they will eventually come back to the psychopath or narcissist. Blocking removes the whole option completely. It's like removing all the bottles of wine out of your house. I was asked in the previous video down in the comments if my ex was stalking me. No, my ex has never stalked me. I blocked him. And he didn't need to stalk me because these kind of people mostly always have a backup resources. When he left, he even took a suitcase with him. He said, "Oh, I don't know why, but I took it with me." He knew he's leaving. He knew he's not coming back. And almost immediately after our breakup, I saw his name everywhere next to streamers' names. Let me remind you, in the part 1, I said that I met my ex on a streaming platform because I was a streamer there. And the rule is that if someone sends you a big amount of money, the streamer puts your name next to his or her nickname. So his name was almost next to every girl's name there. That was his way of pinging me. He was making sure that his name is everywhere and it felt like a sting. So he had plenty of other women lined up because he had money. I think, I'm not sure, but someone told me that he even found another streamer there and they met afterwards and they were dating for a while. I have stalkers online, mostly on TikTok, to be honest. So this is the way these kind of toxic people, abusers act. They always have a spare. By the way, I ended relationship with him by the phone via WhatsApp video call because he used to live in Amsterdam. And let me tell you, the breakup itself was brutal. I'll share this part of the story in the next video. Psychologists say that withdrawal usually comes on days 3rd, 7th, 9th, 21st, 29th, 60th, then 70th, sometimes 90th, and even 120th. These are the days when you feel like you literally cannot live without abusers. I remember how ready I was to climb the walls just to make the pain stop. I howled like a wolf. I cried in the pillow. I took cold showers. I cried my eyes out. I was convinced I'm gonna die from this psychological pain. And that was after only 4 months of dating this person. Imagine the pain of victims after dating or being married to these kind of people for years. But this pain is an unavoidable path to freedom and to a better life. Look at me. Just a year ago, I was I was curled up in a fetal position, praying to universe for this whole thing to let me go. And now I can smile and share my story with you. It's like a bad psychedelic trip. But the withdrawal is exactly the stage where you might fight even harder for yourself and never go back to the abuser. You might ask me, but Julia, why? How? Why did you stay with him for months? First, because manipulations didn't happen every day. In relationship like this, you're like a circus dog being trained whip, then sugar, whip, then sugar. Second, right after breaking out with this person, I went back to therapy and I found a therapist that was working with only victims of abusers. And I wanted to understand why I kept choosing men like him, and worse, why I kept attracting them. And here's one more reason why I stayed: fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of starting over, the fear that nothing better would ever come, the fear of losing such a man. My parents didn't understand how I left such a wonderful, successful fiance. If you've seen part one, you know how charming at first he was, and he even charmed my whole family. And that's another fear of public opinion right there. And as many of you have already know, I also had visa and money issues. He seemed like the one who could pull me out of this mess, help me financially and with my documents. He promised me to register me as an employee at his company, which of course turned out to be a lie, just another hook to keep me dependent. He also claimed he wanted to move to Tenerife and live with me because, living together and sharing expenses can be a real financial relief. And that too turned out to be a lie. He had no intentions of moving. Step 3. The straight road back to yourself is through therapy. That's where you face your fears, bring them into the light, and start working on them. I want to show you something before it's over. I'm just making the video and decided to show you a beautiful sunset. Look at that. So cool. Just an off top for you guys. Step number 4, taking responsibility. This means asking yourself, why I let someone like this happen or come into my life? Names change, but manipulators and abusers will keep showing up until you break the cycle. I kept asking myself, why I do keep on attracting this kind of people? Why do I tolerate them? And the answer was fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of starting over, the fear that it will never get better, the fear of not getting married, not having kids, the fear of public opinion. My parents didn't understand why I left such a successful fiance. These fears and complexes are exactly what keeps people in situations they should never tolerate. In the therapy and in a support group for survivors of abuse, I realized something shocking. I was attracting and choosing these people myself. So I took the full responsibility for all my choices. Therapist I worked with, she said that I needed to analyze my fears and insecurities and ask myself, why did the psychopath showed up in my life? Why did I accept him? Which of my needs was he feeding? Why didn't I leave immediately? So if you're still in this relationship or you left this kind of relationship, please ask these questions to yourself. They are very important that will help you understand what attracts you to them and vice versa. If you guys want to hear more of my journey with therapy and coaching, please don't forget to subscribe and I'll share more of this information in my future videos. Step 5. Change your model of love. Most of the people who fall into these abusive relationships share one pattern, the rejected love model. Every time someone rejects us, instead of letting go, we love them even more. That's why we cling with those who hurt us. After this kind of relationship, I understood why I was in my second marriage, why I was with my ex-partner in the first marriage, and why I kept on choosing this kind of man over and over again. In winter 2025, I read the book Attached by Amir Levine, and I even made a video on my YouTube channel about this book review. It explains attachment styles and why some of us are more vulnerable to toxic dynamics. If you want to go deeper, watch my review, or even better, discuss it with your therapist. There are a lot of tests to understand your attachment style and to work on this. And I want to finish this third part with one important reminder. Manipulation begins with our own wishful thinking, with the fairy tale desire to find a prince or princess. But perfect people don't exist. I don't want these videos to be too long or overwhelming for you because I know how heavy and hard it is and this information can feel. I really want to hug all of you who've been through this or who is going through this. Please make small steps because small steps create a massive change. Don't rush it. I understand the urge to just go through the pain very quickly. But believe me, the experience will transform you. I wish you all the best. I wish you an amazing day or night wherever you are in this world. And trust me, you will make over it. I promise you. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it right now. I love you all so much. Please stay strong. And here is a wonderful sunset.